I mean,
All right.
I mean, correction.
We are here with David, who you went 4-0 today,
Correct.
right? In Grand Archive, and here's the deck profile that he played today.
Is it a sign?
So
Is it a sign?
today I was playing Arisanna, Astra Arisanna. This is a kind of spell slingery style cleric list. And for the basic spirit, we're playing the Fragment's Wind Spirit. You play a lot of Astra cards in deck. The Glimpse is really important for like not opening big hands and keeping things smooth. And you're leveling it very aggressively in the deck, so you get the card back pretty quickly.
When I like scooting, just
All over one Arisanna, on Enter, you gather twice. For those who aren't familiar, this is Arisanna's like unique gimmick mechanic. When you gather, you roll a die and you get a token based on your results, the orbs. There are 3 groups of them that, as far as you care, 1 and 2s, or your bad hits, they all sacrifice them, gain a level. For most part, not relevant. Biggest upside they have is you can sack them whenever you want. Your 3 and 4, and your aggressive matchups, these will be your saving grace. You sacrifice them, recover 1. Extra life, extra good. And then 5 and 6 is a redraw of sorts. You pick a card from your hand, bottom your deck, and draw a new card. In your slower matchups where you need a better card instead of trying to buy time, these can really be what takes something to stop an attack that's not relevant and turns it into something that actually progresses the game. As well as some of the brickier cards you want in your deck back into it.
yeah, it's a small world.
Next, at level 2, we have Arisanna Master Alchemist. Once again, same on Enter, gather twice. But now you get the inherited effect at end of your turn. You can sacrifice 2 orbs with the same name, draw a card. This is going to be the thing that catches you up on cards after going down to level up aggressively. This is going to be the thing that really lets you grind out advantage and take over the game. While it's not the card on top of the stack, I would argue a lot of times its effect is more impactful than the 3s. Your level 3, once per turn, when you stall call, you may choose to pay 0 instead. You get to choose when to do this, you don't have to do it on the very first stall call. So if you haven't hit the stall call that costs 0, you just don't choose to replace it with Arisanna. Generally, other than that, you're always going to replace because every other stall calling is 2. And what's the difference between paying 2 now versus later?
Thank you so much.
And for those not familiar, Star Calling is an effect that happens when you glimpse. So anytime you scry your deck, if you hit a card that has Star Calling, then you can play the effect. You can play the card basically for the Star Calling effect.
Right. With the caveat, everything else must go bottom. You can't choose to leave anything on top if you stall call, and you do get to ignore timing restrictions. So if you respond, glimpse, see something valuable, you can stall call even though it's slow. So for example, a lot of times on attacks you might stall call into this as a board wipe and hit them with the board wipe on the opponent's turn, which frequently is a lot more powerful and a lot less expected. Continuing with the material deck, probably the most important regalia in the deck, Polaris. This is a proxy evoke card. You can get a physical one. The physical one doesn't have the correct text, and you are allowed to print them off at time of recording and use them instead. Polaris is a 1 activation cost, or 1 memory cost. Arisanna bonus, you can activate it.
No, I'm just saying.
But if you do, it comes in rested.
I want to look at the deck.
Whenever you sacrifice an orb, you put an age counter on it. And then finally, at any time you want, you can tap it, banish it, and do damage to each ally equal to the number of age counters on it, and then shuffle that many Cosmic Bolts into the deck. Cosmic Bolt, I will go ahead and show to give context for, is a stall calling for 2, normally costs 3, so if you do have play from hand, it's not the worst to play. But this is going to be how you win. It deals 4 damage to any target, plus 2 for each additional copy in your discard or banished. So frequently, you'll start early with like 4, but very frequently you'll close the game out by going Cosmic Bolt you straight to the phase for 12 and close the game out very quickly once you start going for it.
That's fine. You get one. You let them hope.
Our next regalia, really important, the Cosmic
Oh,
Astra
well, no,
Scope.
there's also going to be. I thought there was a manual.
We mentioned Glimpse before. Glimpse is very important for this deck. This is the one way to Glimpse repeatedly in the deck. This is just tap, Glimpse 3. Most of the time, that's going to be what matters. If your opponent would Glimpse X, you can make the X be 3. So in certain other Astra matchups, this could come up. In the middle, this could potentially make a big spell showed Astra, only Glimpse 3 instead of something like 12. But the vast majority of the value is just it glimpses 3 every turn. Next we have the ingredient pouch. We mentioned the orbs before. There's pay 1 tap, gather. A lot of times you'll do this pre-recollection, to just get the card right back, keep it up at all times, and just keep that orbs going so that you keep drawing cards. It's not the best way to keep orbs going, but it is a way and you always have access to it.
No, because I only have 50 damage.
Grand Crusading, we have no real necessary requirements for Divine Relic, so when it just says draw a card, it's good. A lot of times you, especially when you're like really early after leveling up, you might not have the one to pay for your ingredients pouch that's in play. You can Grand Crusading, pack it immediately, use your ingredients pouch, get the card back, and just keep going. Nexus Foresight, this is generally kind of the mark the game is about to end. This is a glimpse, one-time glimpse full. Because we're a cleric, it's free. We don't actually care about that one in the corner. It makes it just a little harder to remove, but it's a self-banishing regalia, so it doesn't really matter that people struggle to remove it. But a lot of times you'll do this as a like, well, my opponent's on 2, I'm going to find a Cosmic Bolt now. You aren't using this as a repeat value. You're doing this in time. You're doing this when the game needs to end now.
Yeah. So basically, like this collection of 5 is basically like the engine pieces of your deck, right?
The next 3 are going to be kind of your more matchup-related ones. First, Nullifying Lantern. Turns out there's a lot of decks that care about what attributes are in their grave. Most fire decks, this will hook. If you play against Slimes, which was my last round today, this turns off King Slime. This turns off anything that needs to discard a type. So anything that needs like discard a fire for its upside, this stops. Very good, doesn't hurt us at all. We do not care about the attributes in our grave. Censor Restful Piece. This is it's an amazing card. It's objectively an amazing card. We play a card this hoses really, really badly. You really have to evaluate, is it worth it to turn off your opponent's grave effects? In some matchups, it wins. Like if your scene has a, like Alice False, this is a card they must answer, they immediately lose. Those decks like Nico, that really needs their grave to have a bunch of floating memory. This hoses. But we do have a card we really like to use from the grave that's not floating memory, so you have to be careful with activating it. Like it's going to stay in the deck, but I wouldn't fault any Arisanna player for cutting it.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those where like it's free to play, and just.
But it's a great example of a card that just because you can materialize, maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah, yeah, because it does affect both sides of the both sides of the field too.
Yeah,
So.
same with Lantern, but Lantern we don't care about. Finally, the last main deck material is a Safeguard Amulet. This is going to be any of your Spellslinger matchups, any decks that randomly just have some points of board damage. Not every matchup is important, but a lot of times your cleric, a lot of times playing on very thin margins until you're not, and a lot of times that margin is less than full.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think Safeguard Amulet is one of those. I feel it's the difference between getting another turn or not.
It's never flashy, but when it comes up, you realize it comes up.
Yep.
Very frequently, when it comes up as a game pivoting card. Onto the main deck. So, we have 4 copies of Gentle Respite. This card has gotten much better with the starting procedural rule change. So it's a 3 cost. If your influence is less than your opponent, draw a card into memory. floating memory. So with the rule change, you are a 6-card spirit. This means if you go first, this is always live. There is not a spirit that starts with 5 or less cards. You play this, you go down to 5 cards in hand, you're at less influence. If your opponent wants to burn like a fast kill to stop your draw into memories, you go, cool, you're down a card, you don't recollect that memory on your next turn, and I still get a floating memory. Like you went down a card to keep me from going up a card.
Yeah.
You're fine with that. Yeah. A-okay, super wonderful.
Yeah, it's generally one of those cards that I would say a lot of people do tend to try and ignore because...
And most of the time it is correct.
Yeah.
Some more aggressive matchups, it can be hard to get that influence, especially on the draw. Like I said, I played Slimes in round 4, and he dropped his hand so fast that really was hard to ever resolve this, except game 2 where I was on the play. After he got a turn, it was not possible to resolve this to actually get the influence. But sometimes you might still just fire it because it is floating memory and you're allowed to fire it even if you're not drawing any memory. I mentioned it before. We have 4 copies of Fast Cure. Very similar. This one's at fast speed instead of slow. It has floating memory, and if your influence is less, you recover 4. We're clerics. Again, we play on a razor edge until we kind of turn that kernel. So that recover 4 a lot of times is the difference between do I get the 1 extra turn I need to clear the board, start my stabilizing, and let my value take over. As well as it is a fast floating memory. A lot of times you might just pass turn 1, go into turn fast kill. I'm not recovering anything, but it's a floating memory. I guaranteeing I'm basically using this to level instead of my actual memory.
And would you agree that I think healing and preventing damage in clerics specifically is super important because of the health total of clerics?
Yeah, you don't have one of the like martial class like bigger life totals. You don't have allies to like talk for you most of the time. It's not uncommon to like win a game that you went to 23 damage on, but then end the game at like 11.
Yeah.
Because you have recovery, but you don't really have a lot in the early game to keep yourself safe.
Yeah. That 25 ends up being effectively like a 43 because of how much you're healing or something like that.
And we'll show off a little bit later when we get to the win codes. Some of the codes that really over the course game makes you feel like Jin has a small health. Like there are times you will look at Jin and go, I've taken more damage than you and I'm still alive. Next up, we got 4 Wisdom's Reprise. So Wisdom's Reprise, it's a 1 cost fast, glimpse 3. But if you're level 3, you draw into memory. You will generally try your absolute best to hold on to this until level 3, but because maintaining that card is important, especially before level 3. You don't have a ton of ways to get cards before 3. As well as glimpsing is how you star call. This is a stock method star call. It's one of the bigger glimpses you get access to. Try and hold on to him, but if you all have that hand where you sent back like 5 off your glimpse and then you drew 5 Astra, which I had today, this can be a way to try and get that moving.
We might be staying in until like middle of June.
Dungeon Guide. I don't think this catches anyone as particular surprise when I said we level aggressively. When it comes to leveling aggressively, Dungeon Guide's queen. 3 cost on enter. You banish 2 random from your memory. If you do, you level up. This is great. Frequently, we will level to 2. Dungeon Guide level to 3 immediately. And what we'll do a lot of times is when we Dungeon Guide, we'll go to 3, and then the one they don't pick, we'll just banish to activate Polaris. So we just pick the 3 worst in our hand to get rid of, and go, it really doesn't matter what you pick. They're all 3 going. They're all 3 the worst cards in my hand. I'm going to get Polaris going and start getting those counters on for Cosmic Bolts.
Yeah. Dungeon Guide is, I would say, the one card if you're gonna start to get competitive, this is probably the #1 pickup to get.
Yeah, this was this is, when I first picked the deck up, this was the most expensive card I picked up. Because outside of the Grand Crusader ring.
Yeah.
But as far as like the prices combined, and it was because they're staple. even if you pick up this deck and go a week later, I hate Arisanna, worst deck in existence. You still want these. They're still going to be good. You're still going to play them in other decks. Don't feel like this is an Arisanna buy. This is a I like to play Grand Archive buy. If I'm playing a level 3 deck, I'm probably wanting Dungeon Guides.
I need to actually find Netflix access to watch the last video.
2 copies of Timberland. This is a fine card. Only Arisanna really gets to make use of. It's 3 cards. You gather, you draw a card. A lot of times this gather can help give you that extra draw again. So a lot of times, sometimes this will kind of read out almost if you squint a 3 cards draw 2. But at minimum it replaces itself and gives some marginal value as a minimum. But like I said, frequently it kind of turns into pay 3 draw 2. And that's an amazing thing to have in this game. 2 Resolute Sands. Deck list is tight. I would like more, but there's just not space. Resolute Sand can be that emotionally burn. You've leveled aggressively. You have 2 cards in hand. And they'll swing with like an on hit you really don't want to resolve. Resolute Sand. You're at level 3. You're already at level 3, and you're in the part of the game where you're like 12 cards in hand. Sure, I'll pay. Give it my card to prevent 3. It's not going to stop me from playing anything. I got 12 cards in hand. But not flashy. Solid card though.
Would you say, like, I think for our meta specifically, like Resolute Sands would be something that you would play here because of like the amount of
there's
like,
a lot
damage
of most players at this locals does combat damage. Even like the decks you don't really think of as the punchy decks are still doing combat damage. You'll almost always be able to like leverage it in some matchup. I'm the one who this doesn't do anything against, and pretty much exclusively me that you won't ever find a use for it.
Yeah.
Next up, 2 Regenerates. This finishes off a norm. 2 cards drawn to memory early. If you're a little bit later, you've taken some damage. Maybe they're being really aggressive. You recover 2. Not flashy. Honestly, probably the worst card in the deck, but it does hit a certain niche, and that is both a way to recover and a card neutral card at the same time. And occasionally it's important for leveling. Just being a fast way to get 3 cards in memory. Like there are games you're going to go, you'll look at your hand and go, I don't have a clean way to get 3 in memory for level 2. Oh, to go to level 3, like you look at your 3 card hand and going, this pits 3 in memory. If you resolve it, regenerate, you get to go to level 3, period. So it does have uses, it comes up, and sometimes it recovers, which can really matter. Now starting with the win cards. Our first is Photoground. This is a card you really want to see early. The sooner you see a Photogrounds, the better. So we mentioned how orbs are important, that's what lets us keep drawing cards. At the beginning of your recollection, you pick an orb you already have, and you get another one. And for those who are keeping track, that means you have 2 copies of the same orb, which means that in a turn, you're guaranteed to draw a card. Same thing with the ingredients pouch. If you pre-recollection, ingredients pouch gather, this gives you another orb. So this plus ingredients pouch means you are getting a second draw every turn guaranteed.
Did you get rid of that Altar Unicorn? 6/6.
And that is a powerful thing in a game as card thirsty as this.
For the Fertile Ground, do you usually just leave one in play and then like if you have another one in hand, do you just keep it in hand usually, or?
It depends. If a lot of times in the early game, you'll just keep the one in play, and because you need to proactively use your cards to kind of keep yourself alive. But a lot of times in the later part of the game, when you are kind of already kind of stabilizing, but maybe not completely turn that corner, a second one can be, well now I'm drawing and getting an extra recovery orb. And certainly that second one can be 6 life over the course of the game. It's dependent, don't play it. 1 is great in the game. I always say, always try and get 1 down. If you have the breathing space for 2, 2's even better. But a lot of times the breathing room just isn't there. Now for the pricey card of it. This was not something I picked up when I first picked up the deck. And it is, there's a reason this card is fluctuating between $40 and $60, depending on when you check. 3 visits. It is a free, I repeat that, free, fast speed, recover 2, glimpse 2. You have to, as an additional cost, so the text is a little wrong on the card, they derived it. As an additional cost, you have to rest your champion. We'll cleric, we don't attack. The only thing that rests your champion is 3 visits. But it means you can't do multiple in one go. Class bonus. If this is in your graveyard, and you're a mage or cleric, you can activate it from your grave, banish it as it resolves. So notably, if they negate it with like
like something like a frostbind or incapacitate.
Yeah, so like if they incapacitate this, you cast this from like your grave and they incapacitate. It just goes back to grave. You cast this from banish and they incapacitate. Back to grave. Because it didn't resolve, it does not go to the zone it would otherwise go to. Which means this is almost impossible to negate. It feels super bad. Like maybe if they play from hand, you might use one that negates that banish, and it cuts off 2 uses of it. But this was a free card. This is a free card that you're still going to get some value out of later. It feels horrible to try and interact with it. Most people won't correctly, I think. But this will frequently, like one copy will be 6 life, runs 6 times. Really keeps your engine moving, buys you a lot of breathing room. And I would say don't be afraid in the early game to put it into memory. It feels actually really good to banish it for level up. Because while most cards are just gone when you level up, 3 visits still gives you something. It's a little less minus than other level ups.
I would agree.
I guarantee you there's a Toys R Us location out there that still hasn't been crashed.
To Beseech. This card's on my short list of cuts, but it's so powerful when it is good. Early game, you could use this as a way to level up quickly. So like if you're turn 1, you want to immediately go 1. You could Beseech the wins. Pay 3, go level 1, you'll have the 2 to go level 2 on turn 2. So like that's a sick open. Alternatively, it can pull some of those hate pieces from your material deck without eating your level up. Very good card, very flexible. I think 2 is probably pretty close. But like I said, those arguments that take it away as in the late game it gets really bad. But that's when you just start using the pay cost.
You're gonna play Waterworks forever!
Oh, trap. This is a respect for save use and Cheshire Cats. So this is a 2 cost. If we can ignore the pro, we can ignore the class bonus. Return attacking unit to hand. Oh, attacking ally to hand. If you hit a save you with this, they go back to material deck, they're gone. Though not getting that save you back, you do not have to respect the big dragon anymore. If they're trying to Cheshire Cat beat you down, this puts it back. It's a skill. Notably, this is not a spell, which is why it gets around Spell Shroud. Spell Shroud is distinctly spell. It is not just targeting, it is spell targeting. So this gets around those like really sticky creatures that are hard to otherwise get rid of. Next is Stifling Trap. Once again, we're going to ignore all the class bonus stuff. This is 2 cost. Deal 2 damage from ally. Negate its effect. Negate its on-enter effect. If you think of, like, Dungeon Guide is a great example. Hitting a Dungeon Guide with this feels wonderful. Because a lot of times that means they chose not to level so that they could Dungeon Guide and instead materialize something else. Now you set them behind. Pretty much anytime you can hit a Dungeon Guide, it's worth it. Clumsy Apprentice, you can use it to kill the Clumsy and deny a card draw. And that feels good. It goes to Pendragon, you can deny them the draw 2 off of that. Very flexible card, lots of really good on-enters in this game. That saying no, giving up a card to say no to is worthwhile. And finally, when 2 copies is that for, ignore the different art, I use what I had. Flexible card. You can use this as a way to protect your Polaris. And against water, a lot of times they will try and factorize it. Making water kind of a rough matchup because they do get to do that. This is how you can hunt factorize it. You banish it, comes back in turn, you eat your herbs, you get your counters on it. So it gets used there. Against something like Jin, you can banish his weapon on attack and like fizzle out his attack. And protect yourself that way. Or any other big ally, you can do the same thing.
think 2002?
If you generally just a very like powerful card, you can turn off hate pieces. For example, if you want to resolve a 3 visits that's in your grave, you can use this to suppress the sensor reversal piece. Just a super flexible card. Does a bunch of things fine. It's never a card you're like, oh my god, it warps the game. But it does so many things. Almost every matchup you can find some use for Zephyr. Honestly, worth considering for more copies. Just super flexible card, very happy pretty much every game I see it.
And then the fast speed on it, I feel is like the most important part of it because you can play it at end step.
Yeah.
And then that way,
It
the
breaks
suppressibility.
an entire turn cycle of the card, which is something to keep in mind. It's probably the reason you a lot of times see fact rises on your end step, and so that if you try and Zephyr, you still lose it at full turn cycle. But yeah, very flexible card, has defensive uses, have offensive uses. Great card, wonderful tool to make use of.
For all the years, that's how you get.
Under the
that's how
Astra,
you be like,
we have 4 Cosmic Ports. Kinda. We have 4 in the main deck. I have 14 extra for Polaris. I think 10 is kind of the number you should have on hand for Polaris minimum. 12 is nice because I had save you math. I have 14 to have a little bit of extra breathing space. Most of the time you're going to crack up for more like 7, but have them on hand. This is how you win the game. You almost never win with a card other than a Cosmic Bolt. Maybe sometimes you'll get them with a card we'll talk about a little bit later that does full to most champions. Notably, that one doesn't hit Astra champions at all, so it doesn't work in the mirror, it doesn't work against Astra Diana. But frequently this is going to be, you'll go, end of your turn hit you for 10, my turn hit you for 12, and they're dead. So almost always this is how you end the game. And if you need to, it can go anywhere. It doesn't have to go to your opponent's champion. It can just be a kill spell. A lot of times, early game, you might fire at a Ascend Protector and just, I want that pressure off the board. I will give up not hitting you in the face before to not have you hit me for 3 repeatedly.
And like, even if you do hit the champion or like the ally to kill it, it's still another stack for the next one, so it never loses value even when you use it that way.
It's very hard for your opponent to take you off of them in rotation, because they're in your grave, they're contributing to future ones. So it's going to be like Orbs of Sealing to turn face down your banished copies. But the only way you're banishing them is off level up, which you do. You will banish these off for level up a lot. If you open them, you'll go and basically pay your cost every time with it. Because if you banish them for a level up, who cares? Yeah, you lose the Cosmic Bolt in hand, you don't like casting them from hand, and it makes the other ones you saw called better. Astra Sight, one of the best sights in the game. Like all sights, it's free, has the word Star card on it, but it's also Star calls for 0 and glimpses before drawing. This glimpse can sometimes trigger your Star calls as well. You can see it off of a glimpse, get your free +1. Because remember, well, most of them are going to be cast from hand. If you're casting this from deck, you're drawing a card and gave nothing up to do so. Big thing to remember with Star Calling, you do finish resolving whatever was triggered the Star Call. So like if you glimpse into something, you draw before resolving it. So if you like Astra Sight into Astra Sight, you draw for this one, then glimpse and then draw. But great card, just, it's free value, it's potential free Star calls. Great card, no word I would cut it down. Like it's not flashy, but it's free value.
We like free.
Yeah. Anytime something is free, it's probably worth consideration. It's hard for free to be bad.
Agreed.
2 premium material. This is probably the most decisive card in the Arisanna community. Some Arisannas will swear by it, some will say it's the worst card in existence. I like it because I think its floor is still fine and playable. So it's a unique item with the brew mechanic. Brew is a method of casting a card for an alternative cost. In this case, it is sacrificing 4 orbs with different names. When you play it with its brew cost, you don't have to pay the cost and to activate it. And then it has tap, draw into memory. Then if it was brewed, your next Astra Source does this turn does 3 more damage. If you pay this for 4, it's still a 4 cost that draws a card every turn. I think that feels playable already. If they Zephyr, like, you lose the brew, but you probably still got some damage out of it, and almost always it means you're going to get a free bonus draw for the Zephyr. And if you brew, it speeds up your clock immensely. The next card we're talking about makes it do 7 damage instead of 4, which pretty well kills everything that's not named Save You. Great card. Only 2 is unique. You don't really want to draw a second one. If the second one you draw is almost always terrible. I've had, I think, a game where I only played the first one and then later brewed the second one. But that's like very much in corner case territory. Next is Comet Fall. This is the last thing we're star calling. This is 3 damage to all allies, or all units that aren't Astra. Class bonus, Cleric, which was us, 4 damage instead. So this will hit everything, all your opponent's allies, for the most part. For 4 damage, this will hit most champions for 4 damage. Your champion will be hurt, your Dungeon Guides will die. But also, Dungeon Guides don't stop at that point. You'll find losing the 1-3 if you're killing like 4 allies.
Yeah, just the board wipe in general, I think, is totally worth it.
Yeah, the board wipe's valuable. Sometimes you do just fire it because it's a 4
to the dome.
damage burn spell. And you're like, well, I'm currently at like, they have like 6 left. Like, I can hit this, and that way, second Comet Fall does lethal. Opens you up a few more lethal avenues. Sometimes, like, you might even hit and be like, it hits them that 1. I got a Dungeon Guide in hand. It's not the flashiest way the most common way to kill, but it's such a powerful control tool that also happens to also hit the opponent's champion sometimes. The board wipe is definitely the reason we play it, though. Next, we'll start some more defensive tools. Spell Shield Astra. Because we are a cleric, we get access to a spell shield. Spell Shield Astra normally costs 4. For us, it costs 2 as a class bonus cleric. It prevents the next damage to our champion, and then we glimpse equal to the amount prevented. No, it doesn't say the next 3 damage. It doesn't say all but 1. So this stops on hits. This gives you big glimpses against decks that will try and hit you big once, 1 or 2 times, like Jin, like some versions of Ciel. Sometimes you would do this and be like, it stopped at 17 hits. I gotta keep 17 cards, and I basically get to call whatever I want now and stack the bottom like 16 cards in my deck. Because even though you have to pay everything bottom, you do still get to pick the order of start call. Next we kinda got 2 relay cards. First, 2 order counters. This is cost X with an additional cost of Y of stacking orbs. Either one can be 0. You don't have to make either one of them 1. So if you have a bunch of orbs but no hand, you can pay it all with orbs. If you have a bunch of hand but no orbs, you can pay it with hand, or you can mix and match. Counter target spell unless they pay the combination of X and Y. So a lot of times you might get them by just making them pay 1. And if you do, it's banish, and you glimpse 3. So not only do you stop what they're doing, but you get the value of glimpsing, and for the next card, banishing it is really important that you're banishing it and not just putting it in the grave. And that is Astra Seal. This is all other counters. We're playing 4 copies of Astra Seal. It is a 3 cost, just says negate, banish it, period. No conditions, no option to pay. But as a class bonus, if they have a copy of that card, if a copy of that card is banished, you don't have to pay cost. Most of the time, you're going to be looking at their banished happens, whether it happens or not. But technically, if you also have the card banished, it can stop that. So if you're playing against like 3 visits, your own banished 3 visits can let you counter their 1 from hand without paying cost.
Yeah. And I feel like it's really hard in this game to find cards that just counter any card.
Yeah, it counters any. It counts any both of these counter any activations. They're not attack card. They're not action card. They're not spell. They're not ally. They're anything. And that's a super powerful tool. A big thing though to be careful with Arisanna is you gotta be picky about what you counter. Just because you can counter doesn't mean you should. You have 6, you got to make them count. Think about what kills you. If it doesn't kill you and you can just clean up later with a board wipe, clean up later. You're way more concerned about big things that suddenly threaten to immediately invalidate your card advantage, to turn the game on its head. Things like Pendragon is a good ally to hit because it draws 2. You don't care about the 2-4, you care about saying draw 2. That's why you might counter Pendragon. You might counter some big flashy spells because that Arcane Blast is hitting you for 11. But if you had burned it earlier to hit like the Save Use command the previous turn, now you're just dead to the now existing lingering threat of an Arcane Blast. So be picky with these. They are a useful tool, but firing these willy-nilly is how you end up shields down when you need shields up. For sideboard, we are sideboarding 2 Regalia, we are sideboarding Lunar Conduit. Class bonus, this becomes free to materialize, so we don't care about the fact it costs 1, it just makes it harder to remove. Whenever you use an Astra code, you get a charge counter on it. No, this is not an on-charge, you don't get one just for going to recollection. It's only when you get an activate an Astra code. Pay 3, tap it as a spell. You do damage equal to the number of counters on it, and then remove 1 counter. So the more you can build up, the more they keep giving you value. You don't really want to shoot it at 1, but if it's at like 8, where you can shoot at 8 during their turn, your turn, shoot them for 7. This comes in against things like Jin, where sometimes you just need a little bit more instant way that's a little bit more guaranteed. Or just, or like any other deck will just really get healing down quickly, and you need to be able to get a bunch in really, really quick succession. Within like less than a turn cycle, you need to suddenly be like, I need to hit you 25 in 1 turn essentially. This is how you get that extra little push. Not super important, doesn't come in a lot, but it does come in every now and again. Next is Suspicious Concoction. This is, I don't think this will stay in the deck. In theory, it is a little bit of recovery and replace itself if you don't level up. But once you're level 3, this doesn't do anything in your material deck. We're leveling super aggressively. It's really hard to justify it. But when you level up, you can banish it. If you do, draw a card in your memory, recover 2. So in theory, it's a +1 Regalia that doesn't require you to pay to get the +1 while also recovering you.
Yeah, I think there's not that many cards that stunt you from leveling up, but there is one really good one with Snow White.
Yeah.
So that one would be one I would probably play that against.
Yeah, but like Water as a whole right now is like kind of on the sketchy end to begin with, and even then it's a lot of times like gotta have it right. Or you could like Grand Crusader Ring instead. It's very like hard to justify siding this in. This is almost always a side when you're going look at your opponent going, well, Central Vessel Piece doesn't do anything, Nullifying Lantern doesn't do anything. They're both bad. At least maybe sometime my concoction. This could easily be like a Terrafang or the new Ducal Seal. Both of those I think are very valid. I think there's a good chance I can move this to a Ducal Seal because we're leveling aggressively. The Exalted doesn't matter too much. And if you're level 3, it's just a better version of Terrafang. And they're both kind of you're edging a little bit against aggro with those side picks.
Yeah.
Next, we got the third copy of Resolute Sand. I mentioned it was good. I mentioned I like it a lot. It comes up. Matchups where it's good. A third copy's even better.
Yeah. We can probably show the ones that aren't, if you have any copies that aren't in the deck originally, like, because I know usually like sideboards will have like more copies of something just because you need it, right?
Yeah. The only other 2 cards that there are more of is one more Spellshot Astra, one more Arrow Trap.
Yep.
The cards that aren't in the main deck at all, these are going to be mostly a call out to Razorgale. We don't have it currently at our locals, but sometimes you can bring them against other Fantasias.
We might in the near future.
Yeah. Noble Disillusion. It is a 2-cost, Exalted, fast speed, destroy 3 Fantasias. And your like Facto decks, this card hoses them. A 1 for 3 is a blowout. And in the same vein, another incredibly good card we have access to in the side for both Factors and Razor Gale is Shadow Essence. Now Exalted only pops 1 Fantasia, but is a floating memory. A lot of times in those Factor type of decks, you gotta bring these in, you gotta go, I'm going to throw your tempo off, keep you from getting that resolvable repeat value, and can I keep my card via floating. Very good card. Definitely the higher tier event you're going to, the more I think these are necessary. Locals, evaluate your locals. If there's not people playing Fantasia-based decks, don't play these, of course. But if you're playing go to like a regionals, an Ascent, have the Fantasia hate. There are too many good Fantasias in the format.
What's funny is I pointed this out to one of our other players. This hits Tristan Shadows because they're Fantasias.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought the only
No, they're Fantasias.
I thought the only Fantasia that was an ally was the Lost Being token.
Tristan Shadows are Fantasias, so you can hit them.
I have learned something comments. These are now being sided against Tristan's. At least the Scatter Essence, maybe not the Nobles, but Scatter Essencing Tristan sounds hilarious. Big fan of that. Glad to know. But yeah, this has been the Arisanna deck that took first place with a 4-0 today.
All right. Any changes that you were thinking about? I think you mentioned like some of the ones that might get cut, but
Concoction in the sideboard I think is probably the easiest cut to make. A lot of the codes, I think Besiege could be cut if it were really in space. I've not messed around with the new set very much, so maybe there's a world where you're playing some of the Astral allies and just need the space. I'm not convinced on paper, but that's maybe it's one of those sets of cards that play better than they look. Other than that, I think the deck itself, the cards included are mostly correct. Maybe you could shift around the ratios to match personal player, but as is, I like it pretty well. Like I said, for some Arisanna players, the premium materia might be cut. That's up to you. Do you feel like you roll a bunch of different orbs on a regular basis? If so, premium materia looks pretty good. If you're someone who's I've rolled 5 6s in a row, maybe not play the premium materia. I still think it's good enough even if you're playing for and not getting the bonus damage to play it. But that is definitely the thing that when you have an opinion on premium material, that's when you're an Arisanna player. That's kind of the moment when you stop being someone playing Arisanna and you are a Arisanna player. When you have an opinion on premium materia.
all right. And that'll do it for the Arisanna deck. If you guys like what you see, don't forget to comment and subscribe.